The Harley's engine ticked as it cooled in the driveway of the modest two-story house on Maple Street. Marcus Reaper Davidson stood beside his bike, double-checking the address scrawled on the crumpled paper his sister had given him 3 days ago. 247 Maple Street. This was it. He'd ridden 400 miles to deliver a single cardboard box containing their grandmother's jewelry. His sister Claire had asked him to drop it off at her friend's house, someone she'd known since college, a favor between old friends. The friend's name was Jennifer Hayes, recently divorced, trying to rebuild her life with her 8-year-old daughter. Marcus ran his hand through his long brown hair, pulling it back from his face. The late afternoon sun caught the ink on his forearms, serpents and skulls and memorial dates that told the story of a life lived hard and survived harder. His leather vest, marked with patches from the Desert Rats MC, creaked as he reached for the box. He'd planned to drop it off, exchange pleasantries for 5 minutes, and get back on the road. He had a chapter meeting in Nevada tomorrow night. The front door opened before he reached the porch. A little girl stood in the doorway, wearing a bright magenta dress that seemed too cheerful for the expression on her face. Her blonde hair was pulled into a ponytail, and her eyes were red and swollen from crying. "Are you Uncle Marcus?" she asked, her voice small and uncertain. "That's me," he said, holding up the box. "Got a delivery for your mom." The girl, Lily, nodded slowly. "She's at work. She won't be home until 7. She looked past him toward the street, then back at his face. Her lower lip trembled. Behind her, deeper in the house, Marcus heard footsteps. A man appeared, his hand settling on Lily's shoulder. He was maybe 40, clean-cut in a blue button-down shirt and gray slacks. His smile was practiced, professional, but didn't quite reach his eyes. "Can I help you?" the man asked. Marcus sized him up automatically. "Just dropping off a package for Jennifer Hayes." "I'm David, Jennifer's fiancé. I can take that for her." He extended his hand, but Lily stepped backward, pressing herself against the doorframe. "Mom said she wanted to open it when you gave it to her," Lily said quietly. "She said it was special." David's hand dropped, and something flickered across his face. "Sweetheart, I'm sure it's fine if I just put it inside." Marcus noticed how Lily's hands had curled into fists, how her breathing had gone shallow. He'd seen that look before, on faces of people who'd learned to be afraid without showing it. "Tell you what," Marcus said, his voice calm. "Your mom's expecting me to hand this to her personally. Family heirloom stuff. I'll wait until she gets home." David's smile tightened. "That's not necessary. I assure you everything will be safe with me." "I promised my sister I'd deliver it myself," Marcus replied, not moving. "Road code. We finish what we start." The two men stared at each other. The air felt thick with unspoken tension. "Please don't leave yet," Lily said suddenly, barely above a whisper. She was looking at Marcus with desperate eyes. "Please." Something in those words made Marcus's instincts flare like warning lights. He'd learned to trust that feeling. "Lily, go inside," David said, his voice firmer. His hand tightened on her shoulder. "I don't mind waiting," Marcus said. "Already rode 400 miles. What's another couple hours?" He looked at Lily. "Maybe you can show me where I can park my bike properly?" She nodded quickly and slipped under David's arm, hurrying down the porch steps toward Marcus. David watched her go, and for just a second, his mask slipped. What showed underneath was cold and furious. "Lily gets nervous around strangers," David said, the pleasant tone hollow now. "She's had trouble adjusting since the divorce. Makes up stories sometimes." Marcus had heard that before. Different words, same message. The message people used when they wanted you to dismiss what you were seeing. "She seems pretty clear to me," Marcus said evenly. Lily had reached his motorcycle, her small hand resting on the seat like she was trying to anchor herself to something solid. Marcus moved to join her, keeping himself between her and the house. David remained in the doorway, no longer smiling. "I'm going to have to ask you to leave the package and go." "Can't do that," Marcus said. "Gave my word." "Then I'll call the police and tell them there's a trespasser." Marcus pulled out his phone. "Save you the trouble. I'll call them myself. We can all wait together, and I'll explain about the delivery." David's jaw tightened. For a moment, Marcus thought he might escalate. Instead, he turned abruptly and walked back into the house, closing the door with too much force. Marcus crouched beside Lily, bringing himself to her eye level. Up close, he could see the tear tracks on her cheeks, fresh ones mixing with dried ones. "You want to tell me what's going on?" he asked gently. Lily's words came in a rush, desperate and frightened. "He's not my mom's fiancé. They only went on 3 dates and Mom said she didn't want to see him anymore because he was too intense, but he won't leave us alone. He comes by every day even though Mom told him to stop. Yesterday he was here when I got home from school, and Mom wasn't home yet. And he said he had a key, but I know he doesn't because Mom changed the locks last week." The words tumbled faster. "And today he was waiting when I got off the bus. He said Mom called and asked him to watch me, but she didn't. I know she didn't because she always texts me when she makes plans like that, and there was no text." Marcus felt something cold settle in his gut. "Did he hurt you?" "No," Lily said quickly. "But he won't let me use my phone. He took it and put it in his pocket. And he locked the back door so I can't leave. And he keeps saying I need to learn to accept him, that this is my fault for not being welcoming." She looked up at Marcus with eyes that understood too much. "I was so scared when I saw you. I thought maybe you could help, but then I thought maybe you'd just leave. And I'd be alone with him again, and Mom won't be home for 2 more hours, and something feels really wrong." Marcus's hands curled into fists, but his voice remained steady. "You did exactly right by talking to me, and I'm not going anywhere until your mom gets home, not 1 inch." "He might call the police," Lily said. "Let him," Marcus said. "I'd love to explain to the cops why a grown man is alone in a house with a little girl whose mother doesn't know he's there. If you believe in the power of observation, in trusting your instincts, and in the courage it takes to speak up when something feels wrong, then pause for a moment. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bike Diaries. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from today, because this story will remind you that heroes come in all sizes, and sometimes the smallest voices carry the most important messages." A curtain moved in the window. David was watching them. Marcus handed his phone to Lily. "Call your mom, right now." Lily's fingers shook as she dialed. The phone rang 3 times, then a woman's voice. "Hello? Mom?" Lily's voice broke. "Mom, there's a man here." "David. He said you sent him, but you didn't, did you?" Marcus could hear the fear in Jennifer's voice. "What? No! Lily, are you okay?" "I'm outside. There's someone here, a friend of Aunt Claire's. He's helping me. But David won't leave, and he took my phone. I'm calling 911 right now," Jennifer said, shaking. "Stay outside. Stay with whoever's there. Don't go back in the house. I'll be there in 20 minutes. The call ended. Marcus took his phone back. "See? Your mom's coming."